I'm quite confused about how I feel about Charlie Bartlett. It's a film that's been very well received. It was released in 2007 and it has an overall IMDb rating of 7.0 out of 10 across 62,000 reviews. It is one that I've heard a lot of people talking about and saying very good things about it. It was also awarded the Best Feature Film at the Boulder International Film Festival. However, for me, I feel like it was a film of two halves. So I'll read the description from IMDb and then I'll talk a little bit about it, but I'm not going to give any spoilers. So this says, a rich kid becomes the self-appointed psychiatrist to the student body of his new high school. So what's weird is that in the first, I'll say maybe the first third, maybe the first half of the film, I liked Charlie as a character. He's played by Anton Yelchin and, very, very well acted throughout. He's a very charismatic individual with a great personality, a very large personality, and the acting there is absolutely fantastic. And I really liked him as a character in the beginning, but the narrative was really dull. It took a long time to go anywhere and to really get started. The film's about an hour and 40 minutes. I'd say it did take at least a good 40 minutes to actually get moving and get to the point. There was a bit too much setting up. But then it flips. And the narrative becomes really interesting when we see Charlie giving psychiatric advice and also medication to students in the school. He has like a little office in the school toilets, I guess, and he talks to these students through the walls of the toilets. And I think that's really interesting. It's also really positive because it shows that all of these different students have different problems, different things that they're anxious about, and basically any teenager or even adult watching this will feel a little less alone in the world. And I think it makes it a lot more inclusive. We have a whole range of different characters with different problems. And I thought that was very effective. But the thing that's flipped is that I wasn't the biggest fan of Charlie as a character. So when the narrative got good, I stopped being a fan of Charlie and I didn't really like him that much. And because he's the protagonist and we see the world through his eyes, it felt a bit weird. So I can't quite make up my mind about whether or not I liked the film, because it just constantly went back and forth with being quite good, then being really dull, and I'm very much on the fence. It's directed by Jon Poll, written by Gustin, Nash, and as I said, Yelchin is Charlie Bartlett. We also have Robert Downey Jr. as Nathan Gardner, who for the most part is a likeable character. I particularly liked Marilyn Bartlett, Charlie's mother, played by Hope Davis. I thought that performance was great. She was a really brilliant character. Kat Dennings plays Susan Gardner, another character I really liked. So I have no issues with any of the acting. I think the characters are pretty well rounded. We have a good mix of characters within the school. It seems something that a lot of people will be able to get some benefit from. Charlie as a character, as I said, is very flamboyant, very bold. And sometimes that works really well and sometimes it doesn't. But the acting for that character is brilliant. So would I recommend this film? I'm not saddened that I spent the time watching it. I think I enjoyed the time I spent watching it. I think the problem is just that it was up and down so much that I probably wouldn't watch it again. I don't think 7 out of 10 is what I would give it. I think it maybe 6 out of 10, so it's not awful. And it does actually get quite dark at one point. It takes a really dark turn. Not for too long. It does remain quite lighthearted and comedic for the most part. But at one point it gets quite serious. And it just gives it a little bit more of a deeper meaning. Okay, yes, Charlie Bartlett is a good enough film. I would recommend it. But just be warned that it's not perfect. Give it a go. I'd love to know what you think of it. Maybe one day I'll watch it again. But at the moment I'm pretty content with having seen it once.